very possible to have a one-person billion-dollar business, right? You want to be a YouTuber? Great. We'll provide all the tool sets that you need for you to build the content that you want. As of today, that hit 40 million in 2 months.
Damn, that's incredible.
And that's just, we're half of the month in. And like, damn, I think by even end of the month, we probably will hit 100 million just on this product alone. It's clear product market fit. People love their product. Having one model is not enough.
No.
You have to build a workflow.
Exactly.
Right? You need multiple of these models. So when you have all these three fundamental truths improving at the same time, doubling, tripling, and 5xing a year, what you will get is AGI, right? A humanoid robots that will assist and augment of what humans can do, which is fascinating, right? I think that's a 5-year time frame that's gonna happen.
Love your division. That's very interesting. Very interesting.
You are listening to AI Insights San Francisco by Ron Weigert.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new AI Inside San Francisco episode. Today, I'm with Alex Ye. He's the CEO and founder of GMI Cloud. And today we're going to be talking about very interesting things on GMI Cloud, GMI Studio, and I'm going to just give you a quickly explanation what is the GMI Cloud. So GMI Cloud provides GPU compute instances for engines for real-time AI model servings and cluster management tools for AI scalable workflows. So today we're going to be focused on one tool, the GMI Studio. And this tool helps creators and studios learn how to build ready-to-use AI workflows that goes from idea to working pipeline in minutes instead of weeks. And also, I have a company of Snow here, is mascot of GMI. Alex, thank you so much for the opportunity for us to be talking very interesting stuff related to Gen AI. And I think we have been already discussing some things. You have a very interesting things coming up soon.
Likewise, thank you for having me.
All right, so I want to understand your background. I get very fascinated your story. So you have been an investor, a crypto partner, and now CEO of building creative AI infrastructure. So what is the difference about building the GMI Studio versus your previous roles?
I think my previous role can be summed up by one word, being an investor, right? And that is very different from being an operator. Okay, so being an investor means you write the check and you check back every quarter and say, hey, how's things going? Why isn't the revenue going to the same way as projected, right? That's basically an investor's job. And being an investor, you get to see multiple different things, but it's never you're building a company from ground up, which is what GMI is. Started a company 5 years ago, being a new, I would say, operator, and building from zero to over 9 figures in revenue. It's definitely very, very different experience. Scaling from 5 years ago, no team, to pivoted twice, to now over 120 team and staffs across the world.
Interesting. When you say you pivot twice, can you go over your trajectory? Because that's something people really want to know, like for behind the scenes, how you come up with the idea and how this idea conceptualize it, and then how it pivot and where we are right now.
Yeah, for sure. I started off, well, I'll give you a little bit of my background, right? So I graduated from Hopkins with a materials engineering degree, and I started my entrepreneurship journey. And luckily, I was able to sell my first company to a Hong Kong hedge fund. And then I became the youngest partner at Headline, which is a Silicon Valley-based global, actually, venture capital firm. And I lead their crypto investments for a year before I started GMI, right? And so the first, I would say 2-3 years was actually in the Bitcoin mining space. And I built large-scale data center for Bitcoin mining purposes. And then about 2 years ago, I pivoted the company to cloud when GPT-3 came out, which because, well, partially I'm in Silicon Valley and a lot of founders friends and my investors were like, hey, Alex, I know you have a ton of GPUs. You must have. You're doing Bitcoin mining. Why don't you rent me and some of my portfolio companies some GPUs?
Right. Yeah.
And I had that conversation again and again for literally 5-6 times in a span of a couple months. And I was like, oh, it must be something.
Yeah.
And so that was like kind of the pivots moment into cloud, right? There's obviously a lot of figuring out what to do. Well, what does that mean to build a cloud? Am I doing consumer focus? Am I enterprise focus? And over the last, I would say, 2 years, we solidify of who we are and what we're serving, our purpose, our mission, and our vision for the company.
Interesting. I really like to understand your trajectory and how you're able to quickly adapt on those new situations, because it is not an easy decision for you to change the direction of the company. There's so many risks, so many things that need to consider that, and for you to be able to understand and act on the right time and use the right product, that's very, very, very interesting. So getting a hook of this, when you start to build rent the GPU infrastructure, what was the moment that you realized that that's going to be very interesting to do specifically for the studio? What was the moment like, oh, I think we should do compute for the studio, GMI Cloud Studio?
Right. It's never a moment of realization, but it's a gradual process of how we position and kind of make that transition. So I have to go back to what GMI means, okay? It stands for General Machine Intelligence Cloud, right? Here's my personal belief. I believe that Silicon Life is an extension. I said Silicon Life first. Silicon Life is an extension of Carbon Life form of who we are. It augments and extends, right? And so the mission, what that means is basically I want to allow anyone, right? Any enterprise, any sovereignty, any company, any startups to build AI instantly, right? And so this translates to the product's choice of what we're building, right? Going backward 2 years ago, it's Frontier Labs, the smartest of folks building training models, right? Yes. 2 years ago, there's no inferencing. Yes. It's just ChatGPT, right? And then now we have a lot of these companies, and now on our platform, there's over 140, 160 models available, right? And think about it, each model is a dedicated group of folks training these GPUs. So initially, we focus on these group of folks, Frontier Labs, serving these companies, right? But that is only a subset of the whole of people that want to use AI, right? And so you're starting from Frontier Labs to smaller startups that's like, hey, maybe I'm not going to train my own model, right? Maybe I'm just fine tuning, or maybe I'm just going to pull API. And so that became a logical next step where, okay, beyond these training Frontier Labs that knows how to mess with infrastructure, how to mess with the GPUs, what's next? So we provide this API platforms, right, starting with open source APIs and closed source APIs, okay? And that launched, I think, a couple months ago. And now we have over 160 models available for people to use.
Right.
But again, that is only for professional teams, right? That's for startups that actually have at least maybe 3 to 5 people or more,
yeah,
right? That are building these and know how to code and know how to build a product, right? How to market those, right? Okay, what's the next step, right? Having these models are not enough, right? These are really still for professional teams and developers. And so the next step is, okay, I want to go to anyone that wants to build it. And maybe it's influencer, maybe it's YouTuber, right? Or literally anyone that wants to build something cool, especially in the video space, right? Then there comes the studio. Having one model is not enough.
No.
You have to build a workflow.
Exactly.
Right? You need multiple of these models. Maybe you need a language model. You need, say, Kimi 2.5 plus a Nano Banana that turns it into image, and the image to video, maybe a VO3, or a seat dance 2.0, right?
Just
Right? So you need all three.
Yeah.
Right? And so it became a logical next step, which is, okay, let's build a studio. Let's provide a bunch of templates for people who just want to have brainstorming sessions like, oh, what are other people building? Right? And then we provide also I would say the infrastructure, the tool for them to drag and drop different models that fits their workflow. So you see it as a logical step, right? From bare metals, servers, ML ops platforms, to providing dedicated endpoints, providing model services, over hundreds of them, and then to provide templates and solutions and workflows. So we are going down that route to capture that long tail and allowing people to, like I said, mission is to allow anyone to scale AI instantly.
Yeah, I have a lot of years of experience working in videography. Whenever I go to events, we discuss about with other creators and their workflows, and we sometimes we reach some roadblocks specific like this, because some models can offer a specific use case they're looking for. I would say specific external scene or internal scene that do that very well, and other models don't. So then this model switching in real life, it's very hard for you to achieve. You really like very nerdy and knows the different tools, but then this costs a lot of money even for people to test it out, because you spend like $50 on this subscription here, and then $30 on that one, and then $50 on that one, and then that one's for free until you reach a certain point, and then sometimes this one stop working for some reason, because this is normal. Sometimes the tools doesn't work. It's like you need to come back the next day. So it's like all those different tools is all over the place. And then I really like to have it in a workflow. First, to save money, because then you're not spending a bunch of different subscription. And then second, what you mentioned is very interesting, because then in one workflow, you can have your continuality. Because if I'm doing, let's say, a commercial for TV, I don't want to one scene the character looks one way, another scene another way. I want to have as controllable scene that I can as possible, where a consistent character and consistent space, and then consistent story and consistent coloring. Everything has to be consistent. So then it looks so natural for the people that are consuming this content that they don't even realize this. Or of course, if it is very outside the box, they're gonna know. But the outcome is way better. I have now a question for you regarding the difference between the traditional methods, even though it's like I would say a year traditional method, that you can use like I was explaining, getting from different tools, or run locally, because you can run locally with Conf UI, but then also there's some limits. How you see this differentiation between the studio and the other tools and the local applications?
Yeah, so I mean, traditional way is being a studio and you being in the video space. I think traditionally the green screen, you need professional photos, you need a product and do all kinds of shots, right? Like zooming in and things like that. That costs thousands of dollars, right? Just a full day of filming, right? And renting a studio, it costs also a couple $100 per hour, to rent. And so that's traditional methods, and not to mention hiring models, right? If you're doing advertisement, if you're doing like some short clips or films, that costs would go up to 5 figures. That's traditional way, right? And a Hollywood way of doing things. Now going to kind of the AI, I would say mode, which is Comfy UI, right? Like what you said, Comfy is a great tool, by the way. It's a great tool. By all means, you should try it, but you still have to go to different places to get different APIs and different models for you to use. Right. You still have to go to maybe different vendors, right? If it's GCP, then you got to go to the Google ones if you're lucky to get a discounts. Or AWS, you go to Anthropic and Azure, and it's OpenAI series.
And one thing on top of this, did you mention about get a good discount? Because there's a difference if you get in bulk quantity of APIs credits rather than you just go there one single, because they don't want to get just like $5, $20.
That's right.
They
And
wanna
then you
get
have to
5.
manage all 3 accounts. That's super annoying. And you're just like an individual contributor. You want to build something, right? I want all 3 models, right? But on us, it's like not only you have every single possible popular open source and closed source models across full modality, from text to image to video and even 3D assets soon, right? It's all in one place, right? And for larger players, we also get significant enterprise discounts relative to MSRP. That's just on cost saving wise, right? But also in terms of our workflow, right? Studio, we added a lot of features like code collaboration with cross teams across, like, remotely, and have different templates and so forth, right? There's a lot of nuanced, detailed, that's tailored towards creators, right? And so you don't really need to be a developer, right, to use our studio, right? Literally, you don't have to know how to code, and you will see every single models that you need, and then a much better workflow and processes that we optimizes for creators. So
Yeah, I would say there's 2 personas that connect. They use the tool. We have the creators, the individual people that are doing one job, or doing their music video, or doing something more simple, which sometimes they do everything using AI. Sometimes they integrate content. And on the other hand, we have studios, and I even have been seeing a lot of AI studios focus on that requires more infrastructure. How you differentiate between those 2 personas that you offer the studio?
at the current, a lot of professional studios and Gen A company uses us because we have scale. And I think it goes back to the roots of what we are, right? We're a GPU cloud company. We own a lot of these hardwares across the world. And so what we're really good at is load balancing of these, I would say, these requests, video requests or LLM requests. And so that translates to significant cost saving if you are to do it through other platforms. And then a much better, I would say, reliability, because simply put, we're just pretty damn good at balancing the workloads. I think right now, most of the customers switch to us, sometimes not even cost. It's because the demand are so great that they were faced, I think it's an error code of 409. That means, like, of every 50 requests, only 525 requests actually worked.
No.
It's just because the demand is so high, the GPU is crashing.
Yeah.
But guess what? We have our own GPUs.
Yeah.
And we have our own optimizing tools.
Yeah, and then there was the right scaling. If you start to start to open a new new GPUs and
exactly. And so our success rate is 90%. Like, if you go to Google directly, it's 50%. To us, it's 90%. It makes 100% sense to work with us. That's just Google, right?
Yeah.
And we have every single models out there.
I was doing a paper doing model comparison. So I got 3 different open source models and running comparison. And then for doing one comparison, I need to have my GPU for X amount of hours. And that, I would say, I think it was costing around $7 per hour to run it. It was like, imagine if I want to do this from scratch. Like, it's so expensive because you don't have negotiation with the GPUs. If you do from scratch, let's say I'm a developer, I want to do something from scratch, open source. You don't have a negotiation from the GPUs. You don't have the right algorithm to do the optimization to have the most, to get the most of it. And then what ended up happening is I pass by 50 times my 8 seconds clip, and then the time to export, there's an error. So pretty much I waste 30 minutes of exporting. So if I try to do this manually, it's I'll not say it's impossible, but it's gonna take a lot of time and a lot of effort to run this by myself.
It's not just time and effort, but also cost.
Yeah. And once you hear the word of democratization of AI creation, what do you think about this?
It's exactly what you talked about, right? Like, think about it. 2 years ago, you had to provision your own GPUs. That's crazy, and it's so expensive. Just on one card, that's like $2, $3, or even $4 if you're doing on demand. And you have to download the models from Hugging Face and load them into the GPUs. And by the way, you had to, maybe the model is too big that you had to rent multiple GPUs, right? It's not just GPUs. You have to rent the whole server in 8 cards. So that means $16 per hour, you know? And $16 per hour. And then you're in multiple of that. And you have to provision infrastructure.
Yeah, and then you need to deal with errors and anything.
Crazy.
So if you do something wrong, you just waste 3 hours.
And you're not even optimizing it.
Yeah.
Right? Our models are so efficient and optimized that we're 3 to 6x faster than other model providers out there, actually. And we compete on artificial analysis. We apply a lot of tricks that we learned from open source and closed source community. And so our model performances are really, really great. And so I think that sort of answers your questions, right? Democratization is literally 2 years ago, it's professional companies and frontier labs able to do this. And now going down to startups or single person developers with tech background, and now creators with zero tech background and just know maybe like Adobe Illustrator or something. And you'll be able to use it, right? That I call is democratization of these tools, right? If you go on Instagram Reels or TikTok, whatnot, like how often do you see the same meme or the same video content on repeat?
Yeah. I always see those cat dancing and the dog and this like walking and start to dance like this.
Why?
I was like, that's so
you know why? It's because we don't have enough content. It's because editing takes so much goddamn time. And then creating these videos takes so much time, right? And we don't have enough, I would say, content in the world.
And so then try to push anything that's similar to that just to keep people on the hook.
Yeah, no, I mean, like in the end, we're a tool provider, right? We're providing infrastructure, providing for enterprise to startups to developers to now creators. Like, it's very possible to have a $1 billion business, right? You want to be a YouTuber? Great. We'll provide all the tool sets that you need for you to build the content that you want, right? You can film something and you can turn that into different multiple clips for basically the post-processing maybe take 24 hours, but now you can cut down to 8 hours or much less, right? And so I call that democratization of
AI creation.
Right? It makes it easy for people to create new content with much less capital and much less effort.
Interesting. I love the answer. Okay, I think I was about to ask about what is under the hood of the GMI Cloud, the GMI Cloud Studio. I think we cover a lot of things. Is there anything else that you think it is important for us to highlight from the engine behind the studio?
Yeah. So obviously, it started with a strong foundation of having GPUs across H100s to GB300 clusters, all the NVIDIA gears. And then on top of that, we optimize this model, right? And we compete on artificial analysis, like I mentioned. We're always in the top quadrant. In some capacity, we're #1 in the category in different models providing, right? And we have gathered all 140 models and Studio that's basically a workflow on top of that. And we launched Studio like 2 months ago, right? I think you're also there.
Yeah.
And we had less than 1 million revenue from that particular, I would say, product. And as of today, that hit 40 million in 2 months.
Damn, that's incredible.
And that's just, and we're half of the month in, and like, damn, I think by even end of the month, we probably will hit 100 million just on this product alone. It's clear product market fit. People love their product, and like we're getting so much inbound of these Gen AI companies, and and professional teams that want to scale their application,
Their workflows.
their
Yeah,
workflows.
that's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and most of them that are coming, it is what is the we're discussing about this. We have the creators, have the agencies, the big studios, small studios. Like, what kind of people are coming right now?
Right now, it's mostly professional studios as well as Gen AI companies.
So when you say professional studios, are traditional studios that want to implement AI, or AI focused studios?
AI focused studios, and they're getting killed by so many vendors, and then they're probably pulling API 1,000 times or 10,000 times. They have their own agents, right? You know, and they have their consumers behind them, and they're getting killed because 90% of their cost is
GPU
the
is
API
heavy.
fees. Yeah, GPU fees.
Yeah.
And we're able to cut that cost with single unified platform.
And because
So-
they have the very specific use case for whatever they're doing there, and probably solving the problem, but then they hit the
scale, they're scaling.
scalability.
Scale is always the problem,
Yeah.
right? It's easy to build one individual car, one individual robots,
Yeah.
right? But you can't build the whole thing because you need the whole factory, right, behind it, the power, the engine,
Yeah.
right? And luckily, we started as building AI factory,
Yeah.
right?
The
We
structure.
built,
Yeah.
infrastructure. That's what we're really good at large scale GPU training and inferencing. And so when we're doing this, it's like, okay, you want to scale? I got you. Yeah, this is what we did for the last 2 years, dude.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We have yeah, I think once you talk about this, like AI generated content is very noisy right now. What do you think about the creativity and the originality for people that created the content?
Yeah, I think, okay, so until today, you still cannot replace human originality,
Yeah.
right? And these creativity. It's still very much designed by the creator's taste, right? How you edit things and how you do things. So that's never gonna change. AI is just a tool that makes your idea become reality much faster and much cheaper, right? So it will never replace
The human touch.
the human touch. It'll never replace that. It's still a human that have to add in different, I would say, videos and prompting the right way, selling the products that the person wants, right? So it's still never AI doing that. If you use AI to automate that, I think it doesn't have the soul. It doesn't have a soul,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, yeah. That's on the GMI Studio launch. I presented a workshop specifically about how we can make your AI videos to look less boring. Because one thing that I defend there, we have access right now to the best models for generation of content, but people go there, just type a prompt, generate a video, looks amazing, looks realistic, but there's no story behind it.
Correct.
And then that's what I try to tell people, because we're getting people that is not from the film industry and wants to produce something because they always, for the entire life, wants to do some type of videos, but then they don't have the budget for doing this.
Correct.
And then I was telling them what is most important if you were doing AI content or if any type of content is have a story behind. And then I show 7 steps, how you can create a character, how this character can interact with the world, and how you can give a storytelling throughout this process.
I think you hit the keyword, storytelling.
Yeah.
I think that's what humans are innately really good at. And that's how we differentiate from any other, I would say, in the animal kingdom, is the ability to storytell,
Yeah.
right? And AI still doesn't have the soul to mimic what people are able to do so. Right.
Express themselves.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so for someone that never use an AI workflow, where should they start?
Well, you can go on to GMI Cloud Studio and start right away. We have a lot of different templates that we actually created. Some of them are UGC that they uploaded for people to kind of use their workflow. For example, recently it was Valentine's Day, and there was some Valentine's Day special.
The Lego?
Yeah. So
That was fun.
yeah. So people love it, and you can just basically download them locally, and you can build your own solutions and prompt a little bit differently, maybe with your own pictures, etc., or your girlfriend or boyfriend's
Image.
image.
Yeah.
So you can start from there.
I think maybe the next step would for them to create their own workflows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're just giving you idea generation templates.
And I noticed also there's the new section right now for community, and then they can share the work as well. I think
That's right.
that's important for them to share what they're doing, because sometimes the person might be creating and think about, oh, that's not a big deal. But then once you share with other people, the people get excited. It's like, oh, that's very interesting. I want to replicate that. And I noticed that that's right now where we're discovering the capabilities of the tools, and we have new models. I think that's very important for everyone that is building something to share if they can, because then sometimes it can be a client project. But if it is like just testing things, I think it's very important for them to share that.
Yeah,
that's for
definitely.
sure. And okay, so now I want to understand your vision for the future, where this all is heading. The next generation of the AI workflows around multimodal agents, or even fully automation video production.
I'll talk about kind of model performance, right? You probably saw Cdance 2.
Yes.
2.0. That was crazy.
Yes.
That's so good.
The Tom Cruise and the Brad Pitt, they're fine.
So I think we have aced kind of the fingers and the human, I would say, wrinkles and face expression, and the lighting. And so I think we're just increasingly gonna get better in terms of these kind of video tools to photorealistic, eventually being used in actual movie setting, eventually, and controlling the character so that that doesn't change when you prompt differently. So that will continue. The inferencing time will also shrink. And so right now the rendering takes, like, if it's like 8K or 4K, then that takes 10, 20 seconds or even a minute to generate, right? With GPU, basically Moore's law, Moore's law basically, and cloud company optimizing on GPUs, that's gonna get to real time generation, bro, in the next 2-3 years. Right now, even on like 480p, you can probably get it to less than 200 milliseconds of generation.
It's very fast.
It's very fast.
Very fast.
So real time generation, that means video gaming. That means the true Westworld, simulating on the spot.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? So
yeah, I wrote a book about word models specifically for video production. And we're talking about the differences between the diffusion models and the new word models that allows us, the algorithm will allow us to make things faster.
Yeah.
And on the book, I explained different concepts there, but I can see a lot of sets, production sets, like you mentioned, integrating real-time footage like behind them, so then later can they render higher quality, film quality, but they can already walk on the scenarios, and the scenarios can already auto generate, and like you mentioned, have like this consistent character, face tracking, movements.
That's right.
Like zero delay, very fast. And also I discuss about education as well, how we can pretty much you can have avatars talking to a person,
correct,
and interacting with a person and teaching them some specific subject, because you can go to ChatGPT right now, ask question, might or might not give the right answer. Sometimes like, oh, is that the right answer? Like, oh no, thanks for catching that.
Yeah.
So you never know. So at least you're able to create a content, a teaching content on using a like word model, and then this person can interact with this avatar. Could be a professor, could be like an avatar itself.
Correct.
You prompt a question and then has right away. So it's teaching live for you. And then raise your hand, ask a question. So that's a hyper personalization.
Exactly. Highly personalization in real time. So you can already imagine highly targeted personal ads depends on kind of even your facial expression and what you looked at,
Yeah.
right? That's already being done by, I think I saw like Apple applying for a patent
Ooh.
to read your facial expression.
Uh-huh.
And so that's that. Gaming, I think games are gonna be hella fun.
Yes. Yeah.
And what you talk about, education is obviously a huge application. But
We see a lot of robotics as well.
yes, robotics.
That's
That's
the self-drivers and driverless cars.
that's right. I think that's a contrarian bet that people don't realize how big this revolution is. But we basically have three fundamental law that is changing the world. One is Moore's law. Basically, the transistor size will continue to double, or performance will double every year.
Ooh.
Right. That's been true since 1980s, right? So 1970s. Second is scaling law. LLMs is continuing to improve, right? A model performance continue to improve on a logarithmic curve. Third is the robotics dexterity or / degree of freedom. It's increasing, right? On the amount of motions that robots can do, right? On fingers, right? Human fingers are highly textile. You can do a bunch of different tricks and things like that, whole different things. And that is also, I would say, increasing, maybe not exponentially, but rapid improvement in multiple X's a year.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you have all these three fundamental truths improving at the same time, doubling, tripling, and 5xing a year, what you will get is AGI,
Right.
right? A humanoid robots that will assist and augment of what humans can do, which is fascinating. All right, I think that's a 5-year time frame that's gonna happen.
I love the vision. That's very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
So what is one thing people often get wrong about AI in video, and why?
There are plenty of tools out there, and the model qualities are increasingly getting better with increment of months, right? And so you should experience and start leveraging these tools now, right? I hear a lot of like filmmakers, traditional Hollywood folks, and they're like, oh, the video quality is bad, the fur handling and the light texture and things like that's bad. We'll never ever use it. AI is never gonna be good enough.
The hallucinations.
The hallucination.
Yeah.
And now, dude, it's just getting so good. And so now you should really start using these tools, because I bet you that these model companies are continuing to optimize on these solutions. And so before you know it, you're gonna get out competed by cost or the speed of production by folks that knows how to use these AI tools.
I can clearly see already, if you're doing like a brief of a project, I can already see this meeting becomes an agent that get all the information, already be able to put this into a base script and generate images right as people are talking, and then by the end of the meeting they already can review something. And this would take, on traditional methods, weeks, and then this way could be something so quickly that people are not even like expecting that speed just for conceptualizing things. There's some things that still need to be recorded. There's still
of course.
There's things that doesn't like for example, the event you're going to record an event, it has to be recorded. That event, and like that's the whole reason. There cannot be you can use VFX, AI VFX on top of it, transitions, but the things there. But how we can optimize some processes compared to other.
Yeah, you start. So it's basically you're also designing an entire workflow, right? That includes moving atoms, like increase the physical touch, like actually setting cameras and lighting and things like that you cannot replace yet, right? But there's also like editing. It's like, oh, you need your touch, right? But you can take AI suggestions, like, oh, maybe you should cut this, and it just cuts your processing time, right? It's like, oh, cut a couple hours, generating kind of studio shots, cut a couple hours, right? So you should start using experimenting with these new tools, right? And you will literally see features building like in front of your eyes. And so you should start leveraging these tools. And for parts that are, I would say, less mature, then it's okay. Just use traditional methods. But you should not reject the entirety of the technology stack, but start leveraging individual parts.
And then one tool that creators cannot live without it, and why?
Right now, I can't live without ChatGPT and Gemini personally. I outsource a lot of actions actually on top of that and researching.
Yeah, to build like motion graphics or other things. There's a bunch of skills.
Yeah, and then funny thing that yesterday that happened yesterday. One of our customers asking us a coordinates of a data center location that we have, and so the counterparty is in Japan. And then I was like, oh no, but I have the presentation. It doesn't have the coordinates. It doesn't have the location, but it has the photos, the aerial photo of the site. I snapshot, I screenshot it, and I feed it into ChatGPT.
And then can you give me the structure?
It gave me the exact coordinates. I was like, she would search the entire world and find out that exact location. I was like,
damn. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, no, that's very.
I didn't wait for Japan to wake up. I was like, yo, I got it already.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I recalled my message.
That's very interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I use a lot of Perplexity for sure.
Perplexity is great.
It's because then you can switch models inside the tool. Because sometimes ChatGPT has been very good for me to create content messaging, and it kind of very good to understand.
Some of that stuff is dumb. Yeah. So I switched between that and Gemini.
Yeah. But for conversational, I have been using Grok all the time. Grok for like talk to them.
Yes, it's conversational. It's great.
Always better.
Yes.
Because you go to ChatGPT, it's like, hello. Absolutely.
You're amazing. You're so smart.
Be harsh on me. I wanna keep moving. It's like no like this flurry language.
It's too PC,
I want to hold more straight to point. Let's get talking. So I think that's why I use a lot. The ChatGPT to write, Perplexity to do research, and more like I need to get more data.
That's right.
And then Grok to talk. Sometimes Grok is like kind of crazy, but
it's funny. It's funny to talk to Grok.
Who inspires you the most on the creator or tech space?
I have to say I highly respect what Elon's doing, but I think it's a common answer. He builds multiple unrelated business into hundreds of billions of dollars. And his dedication and speed of how he built these companies are kind of insane.
Right.
And he doesn't do copycats. And he just builds in his own space. Right? I think that's crazy to me. I think, of course, Jensen, right? He created this entire AI revolution. He had a vision for what the AI revolution, envision the, I would say, the underlying stack or CUDA stack, and also the accelerated computing, the GPUs needed for the AI revolution. It was, I think, I saw it on a podcast that he invested, I think, 25% of company's profit or revenue for 10 years. Can you think about that? Like, it generates zero revenue. 10 years. It's like,
keep pouring money.
Keep pouring in. And it's not like, 5%, that's fine. That jet money, that's fine, right? That's 25% every year for 10 years. Like, what the hell? Dude, you have to have conviction.
You need to I know this is going to happen.
I know it's going to happen. That's like, dude, that's crazy.
Even though know it's going to happen, you're not, but you need to be firm. And envision make sure your vision is being shared, and because then it's not just you putting money, but there's a whole lot of ecosystem.
Correct. And then his play is ecosystem play, which is really cool too, right? He's enabling partners like us. We're one of their top partners, right? We operate like globally in US and Asia. We're building all these really cool tools, model services and things like that, right? And the company enables us to the customers. They don't really sell GPUs directly, which is really interesting, Most of the companies, they're like, oh, we have our own sales team. We're going to talk to a customer directly. No, they're like, talk to GMI, talk to CoreWeave, talk to Lambda, for example.
Yeah.
Right? He builds the entire ecosystem around him. I think that's Central's thesis. That's really cool. And he's building now quantum. He's doing automotive, self-driving, things like that. He's open sourced a lot of these softwares, and that would just opens up the entire community.
Yeah.
It's very tech, no? Don't you think? It's like
yeah.
It's open source. That's like literally a bunch of open source stuff people can use.
Because then that's the only way. So then they get speed. Because if they close source, it's going to close up huge deals, but then they're not as creative.
Look at Apple, dude. They're oh man, they're a category leader. Like Apple with the agent would be so goddamn powerful, right? But it's their top-down, closed loop control.
Right.
But what you lose is the speed.
Question now for you, very generalistic speaking. If AI could solve one problem in the world, what would that be?
Well, obviously, I'm gonna say, I would say, robotic space, right? Because AI can basically do anything on the virtual, basically on the screen, right? That's already happening, so that's not surprising. And robotics is something that people basically moving things, like setting cameras, setting films, and how like the location and having a real world understanding. But in terms of the context with this, for creators, I imagine your workflow still require you, or you have to hire someone to do video editing for you, or you do it yourself, right? That's still hours of work, and that taste is hard to mimic, right? And so there is no end-to-end feedback loop. And so how I hope AI could do is actually understanding you as a person, your taste, by looking at your videos that you have made in the past and how you position camera and how you talk to your interviewees, right? And do the entire workflow for you, which tab you open, how you edit things, the taste. That's precision. That's crazy. Like if you crack that, you basically, it's like you hire an employee, and an employee had to, that's how human learns. It's like, oh, what is my boss like? Right? And he's like, learn, maybe like
process.
What is the process? After 6 months, your employee will be, smart ones will be pretty good at like knowing what you like.
Yeah.
Right? And AI needs to learn that end-to-end process, right? For creators. And I think that's happening, by the way, on virtual. Everything on a screen can be done.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Is there any other message you want to share with the people that are watching this content today?
Yeah, no, I think we hit product market fit. That's crazy. Like this product 2 months ago, we had less than 1 million revenue, and now we're at 40 million. It's growing so fast, 2 months. And for anyone that out there that wants the professional team, that you already have your workflow, you're already pulling APIs, we can help you optimize on your cloud cost. Guaranteed.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Alex, thank you so much for the conversation. I think it was very informative, and I think people are gonna watch this and get excited, start to use the tool, and motivate a lot of people to understand more and give this guidance for people that are watching us.
Definitely.
So I really appreciate the time. And for everyone that's following me, I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, and I see you on the next episode.